All right, here we go. Taking on Pennybags Jr. Only matches at WMD. I'm going to take a mulligan. Don't want to risk the second. I'll keep it. 3. Play a pair of Romans prototypes. And a soldier barracks. And that'll end my turn. It's a 6. Interesting play there. So ultimately 2 sets of 2 with the force. It's my turn. 4. I've got 3 of a kind buildings that I can't use. Make that 4 of a kind. Although it's the soldier barracks I have out there. Well, I'll play the second soldier barracks. 3 actions to go for the turn. And I'm going to forego those last 3 actions and end my turn. Three of a kind force for my opponent, taking on Pennybags Jr. So I'm down to 3 territories. My turn. It's a 2. Well, we'll play a pair of... I'll take that back. Go with a pair of Fire in the Fields, weather cards. That'll do it for my turn. It's a 3. Three of a kind, 2 sets of 2 out there. My opponent's war zone with 1 action to go for the turn. My turn. 6. Well, I can play a Fire in the Fields. That'll give me an extra turn. 2 spots open in my war zone. 5 actions to go for the turn. Back for weather. Start a chain reaction. Extra turn. 1 action to go for this turn. And I'll play a lasting blizzard. Extra turn. 4. Three of a kind, A4 Revenge Supercarrier, Force.
Select target.
So 1 action to go for the turn. Okay, I'll play a G-Titan missile silo. Additional extra turn. 2. Okay. I'll play the other 2 silos. We'll go back for weather. That's it for my turn. There's an intel card out there for my opponent, Pennybags Jr. This is match number 1 of a 2 out of 3 battle here. Both Pennybags Jr. and I had a first round bye, so this is technically a second round matchup. 3 actions to go for the turn after the pullback there by Pennybags Jr. 2 sets of 2 of the weather, along with the standalone intel. My turn. We each have 3 territories. 3. Take the extra turn. Extra turn. 3. For the other 2 lasting blizzards, I'll have 3 of a kind weather. Extra turn. Roman's prototype. This will have my opponent down to 2 territories. Okay. 4. And look at this. WMD. 3 of a kind WMD. I'll take out 2 of my opponent's territories.
Select target. Compromised.
So my opponent is a compromised leader. I just need 3 of a kind. Force to get the win. However, I don't want to split up my forced cards that are sitting out there, so I'll play 1 Jack's Nash. Have that out there. And that will end my turn. It's a roll of 5 for my opponent, who has 3 wide at 2 deep in the war zone. Two of a kind weather, 3 of a kind, so an extra turn here for Pennybags Jr. 2 actions still to go for this turn. Two of a kind force, extra turn. 2. Three of a kind force will take me down to 2 territories. One action to go for this turn. My opponent has a compromised leader. 3 of a kind weather means an extra turn for my opponent. Three. Two of a kind building cards. 3 of a kind. You got force and you got weather. And it was weather the choice. 1. Well, that's pretty terrible. Still can't play that 3 of a kind. It's risky. I mean, if I'm putting something out there, it's just going to get attacked. In all likelihood, my opponent's got a compromised leader. Well, play that second Jack's Nash. That won my turn. So it's 2 out of 3 matches in the second round here of today's BluMint tournament for Warsaken, and specifically Warsaken Blitz. I'm your host, Lou Pickney, here with NashvilleLou Live. 4 actions to go for my opponent. I've got a compromised leader. I just needed a roll of a 3 last turn, and I got a 1. So I gotta hope it'll roll at least a 3 if I get another turn. That's not a guarantee. 2 of a kind weather. 3 of a kind weather, extra turn. 1 action to go for this turn. So a force card, extra turn. My opponent rolls a 5. That's 3 of a kind WMD. My opponent can play 3 of a kind force. I'll end up losing this match.
Compromised.
We both have compromised leader. My opponent can put together 3 of a kind force right now. We'll get an extra turn. That's 2. That's 3. So Pennybags Jr. with a big comeback.
Leader eliminated. Defeated.
All right. So good game, Pennybags. It's very frustrating to have a compromised opponent have 3 of a kind. To get, all you need is to roll a 3 or higher, and that doesn't happen. But that's part of the game. So I'm down 1-0. Ready if you have a code. So I'm going to send a code by request. See, and they tried to mess me up by sending me the wrong thing. Join with code, but I don't have a code. Oh, this is where it provides it for you. You see how seldom I have to do it this way. Because unlike most people, I've got to actually type it out on a different keyboard. Anyway, but it works all the same. So I'm down 1-0.
Warsaken.
Here we go, taking on Pennybags Jr. I'll use Mulligan. This one I'll keep. I get to go first. We'll go 2 of a kind with the weather. And go 2 of a kind with Igor Bach, force. 1 action to go for the turn, and I'll play 1 of the blinding sandstorms, and that will end my turn. So a roll of 2 for my opponent. Pair of weather cards. My turn. 3. Nothing to make 3 of a kind. I'll play a second blinding sandstorm. 2 actions to go for the turn, but nothing is noted to make 3 of a kind. I'm going to keep that 4th spot in my war zone open, and I'll end my turn. It's a 4. So roll a 4 for my opponent. I'm down 1-0 to Pennybags Jr. here in the second match of our second round matchup in today's Warsaken Blitz tournament. My turn. 4. All right, well, I'll go 3 of a kind with the blinding sandstorm. Extra turn. 3 actions to go for this turn. Play a 3rd Igor Bach.
Select target.
Force card takes out 1 of my opponent's territories. Two actions to go for the turn. I've got 3 spots open in my war zone, and so I'll play a pair of Agent Zeras. Those are force cards, and that will end my turn. Extra turn. 2. It's a nice little combo there, but could be troublesome putting it out there. So I'll play a pair of building cards, the Jackal Air Base. That's it for my turn. So it's my opponent's turn as I take on Pennybags Jr. Match number 2 of our best of 3 battle in round 2 of today's Warsaken Blitz Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament. So waiting for my opponent to go here. I wonder if the system might be having some issues. There's been a problem with these tournaments where the opening round, there's so many people playing at once that the system seems to slow down. Finally, a 3 for my opponent. And this is where it's difficult to know if it's the system just taking forever or if Pennybags Jr. had to step away for a moment. Simply don't know. No play. Interesting. My turn. 3. Okay. Well, there's a reason I keep that 4th spot in my war zone open. I go 3 of a kind intel. Calculated stagnation. So I'm going to bounce 3 cards from my opponent's war zone, go 1 of each.
Select target.
Let's bounce.
Select target. Select target.
There we go, 1 of each. That's it for my turn. 2 sets of 2 of the WMD. Roll of 1 for my opponent. We'll pull back there, and that's it for my opponent. My turn. It's a 5. Well, I can go 3 of a kind with a tsunami, and that will give me an extra turn. Extra turn. Too risky to put anything in my 4th spot in my war zone, so I'm going to forego those last 2 actions in the turn. Extra turn. 5. Alright, so we've got 3 of a kind for the WMD. That's going to take out 2 of my opponent's 3 remaining territories.
Select target.
So my opponent's down to 1 territory after this. Two actions to go for the turn, but nothing else makes 3 of a kind. I'm going to keep that 4th spot in my war zone open and end my turn. Opponent's turn. I'm down 1-0 to Pennybags Jr. in this best 2 out of 3 battle here in the 2nd round of today's Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament for Warsaken Blitz, hosted by BluMint. So a roll of 6 here for my opponent. 3 of a kind building cards, going back for those weathers I sent back there along with that a standalone force. So 3 of a kind force will take me down to 3 territories. That's it for my turn, or my opponent's turn. My turn, 3. It's all 3 of a kind stuff on this side. Could go intel, but I'm not going to here. Going back for weather. 2 actions remain for the turn. I'm not going to play weather here. I will go ahead and put out 2 intel cards. That's it for my turn. Roll of 1 for my opponent. Weather card, my turn. 5. Okay, I'm going to win it right here, and we'll be tied up at 1 each. If I'm reading this correctly. So I've got 2 Agent Zeras out there. Play the 3rd. Got 5 actions for the turn.
Select target.
Opponent has 1 territory left that I'll take out.
Compromised.
So all I need now is 3 of a kind force. G1 Foxbuster for the win.
Select target.
All right, so we're tied up at 1. Good game there, Pennybags Jr. Ready if you have a code. All right, so I've got a code here from Pennybags Jr. I'll type that in, and we'll get our 3rd and deciding match going here in just a moment. Pennybags Jr. is a former tournament winner, so I know it's a tough opponent I'm up against. With Ziana.
Warsaken.
This is match number 3 of 3 in the 2nd round of today's Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament, for Warsaken Blitz being hosted by BluMint. 3 sets of 2 of a kind. Now, there's barely any force in there, so there's good and bad. But I'll keep it. And so for the moment, we wait to see if... Okay, I'll get to roll first. Guess who gets to go first, but it gets to be me. 1. Okay, well, with just the 1 action, I'll play a standalone fire in the fields, and that will end my turn. That's a weather card. I have to refresh my browser again. So I didn't miss anything there. It was a roll of 5. 2 of a kind weather for my opponent. So 2 of a kind weather and 1 each of weather and force cards as standalones. My turn. 5. All right. Well, we'll go 1 each for the intel attack here. 3 of a kind. Let's bounce.
Select target. Select target. Select target.
Sending the weather. 1 each. The intel card to this card pile. So I've got 2 actions to go for the turn. Play a 2nd fire in the fields. I'll play a standalone Jax Nash, and that will end my turn. So it's my opponent's turn now. This is match number 3 of 3 of our 2nd round matchup in today's Warsaken Blitz tournament on BluMint. Roll a 3. Two actions to go for this turn. So it's a pair of, or 2 single weather cards and a pair of building cards. That's it for my opponent's turn. My turn. 3. Oh. Play 3 of a kind with Roman's Prototype, and that'll take out one of my opponent's territories.
Select target.
So that's it for my turn. It's my opponent's turn. Roll of 1. A pullback for my opponent. One of those weathers, it's my turn, and I rolled a 5. Well now, WMD 3 of a kind. Will take my opponent down from 3 territories to just 1 remaining.
Select target.
So 2 actions to go for the turn. I'll play the second Jack's Nash. And we'll play a restored vehicle, an intel card. And that will end my turn. So roll a 5 for my opponent. Three of a kind building card, so going back for the pair of weathers and the intel that I sent to the discard pile. Four actions to go for this turn. I would anticipate seeing 3 of a kind weather play to get it more turns, more actions. My opponent. Nope, instead it's 3 of a kind force. That will take out 1 of my territories, and I'll be down to 3. 1 action to go for the turn. Standalone force card will end the turn. My turn. 3. I can go 3 of a kind building cards and either go with force or intel. We'll get a force card. Trio. And we'll bring back the Romans prototypes. That's it for my turn. So roll a 4 for my opponent. Currently in the war zone for my opponent, a standalone action, standalone force becomes 3 of a kind. The actions used there take me down to 2 territories. 2 actions remain for this turn for my opponent. Pennybags Jr. here in the deciding match of our second round matchup in today's BluMint tournament for Warsaken Blitz. Roll 1. I'm not going to put the split up Romans out there. I'm not going to split them, but to put them out there, I should say. I'll play a second restored vehicle. 2 of a kind intel that ends my turn. My opponent has 1 territory remaining. I have 2. It's a roll of 5 for my opponent. Three of a kind intel. You'd figure my cards up here in my war zone will get attacked. Probably 1 of each. The 2 intels taken out, along with 1 of my Jack's Nash force cards. 2 actions to go for the turn for my opponent. We're tied at 1 here in the second round. Today's Warsaken Blitz tournament on BluMint. A lot of weather opposite me. 2 sets of 2 and then a standalone. My turn. 6. Okay. Let's get the extra turn. Play 3 of a kind Romans forces. I'll give my opponent a compromised leader.
Select target. Compromised.
So a couple of choices here. I've got a Jack's Nash in my discard pile. Play a pair of lasting blizzards. Extra turn. Let's see. What do we have? 6. Well, no three-of-a-kind force. Can you believe that? Weather. Another extra turn. Well, I'll go ahead and set up the field as best I can with some two-of-a-kinds. Let's stop for a second, think. Okay. There's the weathers. Probably should play those. Two-of-a-kind hammerheads. And then Jack's Nash. I'd still have one spot in my war zone open. And then we'll have that extra turn, and that will probably end up deciding who's going to win this match, if not the tournament. Maybe not. Let's see. Two-of-a-kind Blinding Sandstorm, so I could potentially get one of those and get another crack at it, which is the idea. And then we'll go with the two hammerheads. I just need three-of-a-kind force to get the win. Extra turn. Let's see. One. Nope. No can do. That's the way it goes in this game sometimes. Got to end my turn. So my opponent's got a compromised leader. I've got 2 territories left. My opponent's got a bunch of weather out there, but it's a roll of 1. So I've got to hope there's not a three-of-a-kind weather. Standalone. 3 sets of two-of-a-kind. I just need three-of-a-kind force to win. It's a 5. I'm going to win the match right here. Bella Ivanova for the win.
Select target. Leader eliminated.
All right. Good game, Pennybags Jr. So I rallied from down 1-0. Pennybags had some really bad luck on those rolls. So I feel fortunate. All right, so this is a little bit different since I've just barely made it in time to get into the tournament as far as the check-in, so I really didn't have a good chance to set things up for a live stream. We're doing this as like live to tape recorded for later. So I'm on to the tournament. I've got to figure out now how I want to do this. I want to try and stop this recording, and then I'll match it up later with if I go live at this point. But I've got to get a few things set up first. It's kind of a little bit challenging. It looks like I'll be taking on Gabbix. All that time I had my microphone muted. Taking on Gabix here in the third round of this Warsaken Blitz Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament hosted by BluMint. Extra turn after the weather and 2-of-a-kind force. 5. This is an especially nasty play here. Force your opponent right out of the gate to discard 3 from a hand of 8. There's the force to discard. 2 actions to go for the turn. I could put a pair of intels out there. I could put a pair of building cards out there. Play the building cards. No. I'll play the intel cards. Let's do that. And that will do it for the turn. So now Gabix has to decide which 3 of those 8 cards in his hand he's going to discard. Just a weather card, another weather card, and a third weather card, 1 each. So a roll of 3 for Gabix. I guess this is technically this is a quarterfinal matchup here that I've got against a Gabix. So 1 each as far as force, WMD, and intel. My turn. 1. Okay. Well. Oh no. I'll play a blinding sandstorm. That's it for my turn. A roll of 1. That's it for the turn. My turn. So roll of 5. Well, I can play a second blinding sandstorm. This is tough because nothing makes 3 of a kind. I could pull back 2 intel cards and play 2 force cards. And actually, I think I will do that. 2 actions to go for the turn. Play a pair of A9 hammerheads, force cards, and that ends my turn. Roll a 6 for my opponent. So I'm taking on Gabix here in the quarterfinals. Two-of-a-kind WMD. A pullback on the intel with 4 actions to go for the turn. Pair of force cards. Then a pullback of the other force. Back and forth here with Gabix. And a different force card to the war zone. My turn. 3. Well. Going to the trouble of pulling them back, I can send them back out with the, and I probably will. I could go back for intel or, but I'm not going to, or weather. But I'm going to go for the, well, I'd go back for it when I've already got it. Let's bounce.
Select target.
1 of each.
Select target.
That's it for my turn. One action for this turn for my opponent. A pullback, and that's it for the turn. My turn. 1. I'm going to keep that 4th spot in my war zone open. I'm going to end my turn. So roll a 5 for my opponent. Three of a kind force will take me down to 3 territories. Two of a kind force will end the turn. My turn. 6. Okay. I'll play a third blinding sandstorm. That will give me an extra turn. Five actions to go for this turn. Play the WMD, Abandoned Forces.
Select target.
Take out 2 of my opponent's territories. Two actions to go for the turn. It would be a risk to split those up. But my opponent's not going to know that I've got 3 of a kind waiting here with it. Actually, let's do it this way. Black Blade. Extra turn. Actually, I messed that one up. I should have gone with the Agent Rico. It'll work out though, but that was a blunder. But sometimes things work out. I think I'm gonna get the win right here. Play that third Black Blade.
Select target.
I'll play a third Specialist Upton Kobani.
Select target.
My opponent's gonna have a compromised leader.
Compromised.
4 actions to go, and all I need is 3 for the win. Agent Rico.
Select target. Leader eliminated.
Alright, so I lead 1-0 over Gabbix after that win right there. I'll provide a quick glance at the tournament tree. Again, it still shows Spark, and then it jumps up on me, so of course. All right, let me get to Gabbix and get that second game going here. For some reason, the tournament tree doesn't want me to interact with it. It's odd. Okay, well, let's not... It didn't have the proper matchup anyway, last check. Or as was listed there. Gabbix says, your turn to drop. Now, where is there any sort of listing on who has to list what in what turn? We're going to need some sort of resolution on that, because it's becoming increasingly frustrating.
Warsaken.
All right, so I'm up 1-0 on Gabbix here in the quarterfinals. It's best 2 out of 3 in this round. 3 of a kind force. 2 weathers. I'm in. Keep. Five. All right, well, start strong. Trio of hammerheads.
Select target.
Two actions to go for the turn. I'll play a pair of lasting blizzards, and that will be it for my turn. So roll 3 for my opponent. Two of a kind weather and a standalone force. My turn. 1. Oh. Play an intel card. That's it for my turn. So I lead 1-0 in this best 2 out of 3 quarterfinal matchup against Gabbix. Roll of 1. Two of a kind force. That's it for my opponent's turn. My turn. 5. Building cards, so I can go back for the force. Go back for the hammerheads. 2 actions to go for the turn. I don't want to put part of a trio of forces that I've already played back out there. That would just be asking for trouble, in my opinion. So instead, I'll play a pair of building cards. Soldier barracks. That's it for my turn. So roll a 5. Three of a kind force. That'll take out one of my territories, so we'll each have 3 remaining. So my opponent has 2 of a kind weather, 2 of a kind force, and then a standalone intel card with 1 action to go for the turn that will go unused. My turn. 3. Let's play the hammerheads.
Select target.
So my opponent's going to be down to 2 territories. That's it for my turn. Roll of 1. That's it for my opponent's turn. My turn. 1. But I can play that 3rd soldier barracks. The hammerheads back again. And that's it for my turn. But after playing the hammerheads twice, there's absolutely no way I can put that out there and not have it be a potential target. But at this point of the match, any sort of force going out there is likely to be targeted anyway. So there's that to keep in mind. So it's my opponent's turn. I'm taking on Gabbix here in the BluMint tournament for Warsaken Blitz. This is the Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament. 2 of a kind WMD, 3 of a kind. I'm down to 1 territory just like that. Two of a kind force, and that's it for the turn. My turn. 6. Okay, I'm going to win the match right here and advance in the tournament. Man, I got lucky. WMD.
Select the target. Compromised.
Yes, compromised leader for my opponent. 3-of-a-kind hammerhead for the win.
Select the target. Eliminated.
All right. Got very lucky. Okay, so this is interesting right now. All right. We are live here with NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. So this tournament's already underway to the point that I'm in the semifinals. Today has been quite the eventful day. I cut it very close, and I mean very close as far as check-in. I nearly missed checking in time, but I got in, and now here I am in the semifinal round. It's not the ideal setup here, but I was able to scramble and get at least some of the base stuff in place. The challenges of time management. So I'm in the semifinal round. I know it shows that I played Sparky, but that was actually Gabix that I went against there in the third round. I was very fortunate. I had a first round bye, but I had a very tough opponent in Pennybags Jr. I'll have this on my YouTube channel later with the early stuff that I recorded. I was at least able to start recording it, but I was not able to go through and get everything ready to go for the live stream until just now. It was boom boom as far as those tournaments matches went, one after another. Went the distance against Pennybags Jr., winning in that deciding third match. And then I know it shows Sparky, but I played Gabix, and I played Gabix a bunch. Really good player. I was very fortunate, caught some very good RNG, won 2 straight. So I'm on to the semifinals. So I'm going to get the winner between Tech and Blackbird. I believe that is the bottom half of the bracket. The top half, Natha CGA's on to the quarterfinals. You can tell for those people that had to play first round matchups, a little bit slower as far as how they're advancing in the tournament, because that extra round does take up quite a bit of time. For the bottom half of the bracket, everybody had a first round bye the way it worked out. This is NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Here with this BluMint tournament for Warsaken Blitz, the $50 Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament, as it's titled. So for the moment, I have the slate pulled up. Checking on a few things right now. So there's the tournament tree. We'll bump it up just slightly, just enough to irk me. The word final gets cut off. There's no way to win. Bump it back down. All it covers up is that bottom left-hand This button is not entirely obstructed anyway. That was a buy, so no information blocked. So as you can see, I'm on to the semifinals of this tournament. And the semifinal round, I believe, is 3 out of 5. But I will need to confirm that. If I'm wrong, it's 2 out of 3. It says early rounds best of 3, finals best of 5. So best I can interpret that, that is this being an upcoming semifinal match. That would be best 2 out of 3. Hey Rexy. Hello. Moonbass Marty, hello. I nearly missed check-in as well. Hello to Moonbaz Marty. Hello to Rexy. So I got in with like 30 seconds to spare on the check-in. I just barely made it in time. So it was a mad scramble just to get it set up to record, let alone be able to stream. So I didn't stream my first 2 matchups, but I had them recorded, and I'll have that on the archive later on my YouTube channel. Probably should start plugging that more because it's an old YouTube channel, but I linked it up a while back with this Twitch account. But it's NashvilleLou Live on YouTube. I'll go ahead and... So Rexy, you got knocked out, huh? I didn't have a chance to go through and really peruse the bracket because it was just go. I had just enough time to get everything done, but just barely. The chat helps. So that's interesting. Oh, the Astral sounds good. Thanks. As far as asking to please wait for my next match. So awaiting a winner. Get things going here in the semifinals. I'll take on the winner between Tech and Blackbird. I know it shows on the screen there Sparky, but it was actually Gabbix that I was victorious over. So 2 tough opponents that I beat with Pennybags Jr. and then Gabbix. So I await the winner of Tech versus Blackbird. The winner of our matchup will advance to the finals. Yeah, that's a tough one, but I mean, if it's a chat where, like, if it was somebody looking in on, like, a stream you were doing and telling somebody, that would be a different matter. That's tough, though. When it feels like somebody's got to ask the audience. But there is a lot of RNG to it, so it does help if you have some people to give you a little bit of advice when there is some strategy to go into it. Oh, there you are. I was overlooking that. I was trying to find you on there, Rexy. That's why I have those long pauses. So, okay. So you went up against Natha. Or you went against, Chowabunga. And then Chowabunga lost to Natha. That's the part that was getting cut off. I couldn't see that. That's why I couldn't find your name on there. So, Natha gets the winner between that top right. Whoever advances out of that one. On the other side, on that top left, Commander against Downtown. Ronald Coleman against Rabbit Larry. I await the winner of Tech against Blackbird. Okay, so that was a forfeit. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. So this is the BluMint tournament for Warsaken Blitz for today, July 14th, 2023. Although it's already the 15th for a lot of the rest of the world. It's the Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament. I'm on to the semifinal round. I'll take on the winner of Tech and Blackbird. Keep checking over on the Discord page for BluMint. Trying to see if that room has opened up yet. Just checking. Trying to stay close by because once that matchup's ready to go, I know that there'll be a push to get it going. And rightly so. You want to get the tournament running in a timely manner. So it's the semifinal round that I've advanced to, taking on the winner between Tech and Blackbird. It's odd to have the sequence be like this, where I didn't go live until after I had the initial rush of matches, but it just had to be that way. I was not ready to go with the broadcast. And if you got to choose between recording it for viewing later or messing everything up, you kind of have to make a tough decision. I mean, I was nearly out in the first round. I guess I got a first round bye. My first matchup, I could have easily ended up losing that one. I felt very lucky to beat Pennybags Jr., the way that one played out. So this is the Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament for Warsaken Blitz. This is my second tournament in as many days here on BluMint. I was victorious in the Blockchain Brawlers tournament yesterday. Here in this tournament, I'm on to the semifinal round. I'll be live streaming my matches as long as I'll last in the tournament from this point forward. So at least my semifinal round matches, and if I'm lucky enough to make the finals, then I'll have that as well. Checking something here as far as a link goes. Okay, I'm going to post a link in chats. It's just the archive. I don't really have anything overwhelmingly special there per se, but on YouTube, they put the HTTP in there, so or HTTPS. Hey, Gabix, see, I got so lucky against you. I mean, I feel very fortunate to have made it this far. I've got the matches recorded from earlier, but I didn't go on with the live stream until after, just because it was such a rush of the absolute scramble to get checked in just in time and get at least something set up to where I could record it and that it would be functioning at least halfway correctly. The challenges of trying to juggle regular life and live streaming. But these tournaments are great fun. It's great content for live streamers. Fun to compete. So I'm awaiting a winner here on the other side of the bottom half of the bracket between Tech and Blackbird. Yeah, I got exceptionally lucky. I mean, RNG does play a role. It's not lost on me. Now, you can outplay opponents and there are things you can do. There is skill to it, but RNG is a major factor. And yet these tournaments are great fun. No, it's not against Sparky. No. It was misscored, is what I was told. but it was Gabix that I played against. So Gabix made it past the second round, or past the, yeah, made it past the second round. That was a round 3 matchup, a quarterfinal matchup. I'm trying to read the small screen. Usually a bad idea when I try and go to that. So the slate again real quick. It's NashvilleLou live with Warsaken Blitz, BluMint hosting today's event. With the particulars on there as far as the check-in time. I was certainly aware of the check-in time. It was just getting here to check in and making it happen. Luckily, I did. Yeah, Gabix is correct. What I was told as far as it was misscored. So I know it says Sparky, but it was I don't think I've ever played Sparky, and it didn't happen today. Took on Gabix. I was very fortunate. I mean, I used building cards and brought back the A9 hammerheads twice. Ended up playing them 3 times. I caught just a significant number of breaks there. Now, I was on the other end. I had a really bad beat, I felt, in the first match of the opening round against Pettybags Jr. Maybe not bad beat, it's just I needed to throw a 3, and I didn't. And then it was like a chain reaction. I had a lead, and then it just disappeared quickly. But the nice thing is that with Warsaken Blitz, I mean, there are times where it can look like you were down and out, and you can then turn it around and make a big rally to win. So it's always worth staying in there and giving it your best to the end, because you don't know when your opponent's going to run to just a really tough streak of rolling a 1 or just getting nothing that matches or other problems. Peek back in here to make sure there's nothing updated in the BluMint Discord for me, and nothing at the moment. Okay, so I'll go ahead and type it here in chat. Let's see, so I beat... Actually, I need to check on something else. 1 moment, please. On to the semifinal round, where we'll face the winner of Tech and Blackbird. I guess for whatever reason, once it's scored in the system a certain way, that's the way it stays in there. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works on BluMint's end. But whatever the case, I am on to the semifinal round. And I'll have that for you here live with NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition here on Twitch. Had fun live streaming Warsaken yesterday. Go through and do some video editing work later. Cut out the breaks. Have it where it starts and ends right where I want it to, and then upload it to the archive over on YouTube. I also make highlights of all of my broadcasts here on Twitch. And once you make a highlight, it sticks around indefinitely. So I recommend that for anybody that wants to hold on to their content and not just have it disappear. This is NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition, playing Warsaken Blitz in the $50 Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament. I'm awaiting my opponent here in the semifinal round. On the top half, it's Rabbit Larry against Downtown, and then Natha against Warsaken. Or maybe I'm not sure if I botched that name, so it was intentional. Many thanks to Warsaken and Supra Oracles for sponsoring today's tournament. It's Tech, thank you. I'll be taking on Tech. Thank you, Gabix, for letting me know. So as soon as they get it set up for us, we'll get things going here with the semifinals of this tournament for Warsaken Blitz, hosted by BluMint. Thank you, Gabix. I appreciate it. So we'll see how it goes here in just a moment. So with Tech advancing, we'll be facing off in the semifinal round. We should have that here shortly. I'm going to check back in here and pull up this screen. So I can see what you see as far as the tournament tree goes. The next two tournaments coming up for Warsaken Blitz on BluMint. Coming up next week, it'll be Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for the $50 Cannon Fodder 1 tournament. And then it'll be 1 week from Saturday, so July 22nd. That'll be 1 p.m. Eastern start time for that, for Cannon Fodder 2. And other real-life things notwithstanding, I plan on broadcasting, at least as far as I make it, with my matches in both of those tournaments. So awaiting a matchup here against Tech in the semifinal round. Yeah, 2 new tournaments, yes. Easier if I type them. You got July 18th, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Which is what, 1700 UTC? So it'll be the same time of day for both tournaments. I think I quite formatted that very well in the chat, but July 18th, 1 p.m. Eastern, July 22nd, 1 p.m. Eastern. So those are the, and it shows there on the tournament bracket, you can see Tech has advanced. And if that shows up in the bracket there, it usually means the matchup's going to be set very soon, and here we go. Hello. So saying hello to Astral here in chat. As soon as I get the go ahead from Tech. We'll get things started. But yes. Yes, I do. Ready if you have a code. So here we go, taking on Tech in the semifinal round. And it's unusual to broadcast this way, to play the matches and then go to the live stream and then go to the semifinals. It's like it's like one of those where there's like a long broadcast, like a mixed martial arts show, and it's like half of it's on regular TV and the other half's on streaming or pay-per-view, whatever. So it's the semifinal round. It is only the finals that are best of 5, according to this. So the semifinals, let me confirm this. Better to confirm on something like this to be sure. I want to think there was some confusion. There was one. Yeah, it's still best of 3. Thank you. And I've got the code, so here we go. This is best of 3. So the first person to win 2 will advance to the final. Now all I have to do is type in the code that I was sent, and we'll get things started. And then after all that, I typed on the wrong keyboard. Here we go.
Warsaken.
All right, here we go. Round 1 of the semifinals. Well, I'm not going to argue with 3 of a kind force. It's 2 building cards, but that's okay. We'll keep it. And my opponent gets to go first, but it's a roll of 1. A morale card. Well, isn't that interesting? My turn. 5. Pretty easy decision to start. We'll go with a trio of GR Vipers. Force cards.
Select target.
3 of a kind force lets me take out an opponent's territory. So nothing in my war zone with 2 actions to go for the turn. I'll play a pair of weather cards with the tsunami. So now it's my opponent's turn. I could have played the blinding sandstorms just as easily, and they would have served the exact same function. That's the way it works in Blitz. Roll of 5 for my opponent. 3 of a kind morale. It's going to take me from 19 to 13 morale. There's an extra bit of difficulty to playing Blitz with a morale deck. If you have an opponent like me that has territories that are all -3 or lower. I came in with 19 morale, so perhaps a combo deal planned. There's 3 of a kind morale. I'm down to 3 territories. That's it for the turn. My turn. 3. We'll go 2 of a kind with the blinding sandstorms. 2 spots open in my war zone. Just 1 action to go for the turn. And I will play a Jackal Airbase, and that will end my turn. Posted a link in chat to BluMint and the Warsaken tournament tree for this Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament. This is the semifinal round. Match number 1 between myself and Tech. It's a roll of 1. It's a morale card. My turn. 1. I will play the second Jackal Airbase, and that's going to end my turn. So here in the semi-final round, taking on Tech. It's still best of 3 for the semi-finals. It won't go best of 5 until that championship final round. Roll of 2. Two of a kind morale. Those morale cards take away 6 morale for every one of them you connect with. I'm at 10 morale because one of my territories was taken out. Roll to 6. First things first, a tsunami. Well, even before I play that, I'll show you what I have out there. 3 sets of 2. Going with weather first will generally serve you well in Warsaken Blitz. Tsunami. Extra turn. 2 spots open in my war zone. 5 actions to go for the turn. So I'll go ahead and play Igor Bach. I could have played Could have played a pair of Intels, could have played Agent Zera, but I'm going with Igor. I don't like to fill up that 4th spot in my war zone unless I have a really good reason or it's desperation time. So I'm going to forego the final 3 actions and end this turn. Go to my extra turn. 6. Okay, easy enough. We'll go 3 of a kind force with a G1 Foxbuster. What a great card.
Select target.
My opponent's now down to 2 territories. 3 actions to go for the turn. Play 3 of a kind intel with a pulled critical part. Again, I've talked about these very rares. There are 1,000 of them, so they're more as far as quantity goes, but there's some really, really nice works of art within those cards. Let's bounce.
Select target. Select target. Select target.
Get those pesky morale cards out of the way. And that's it for my turn. Hello to Tech here in chat. Roll a 4. Three of a kind weather, so that's an extra turn for my opponent. This is match number 1 of the semifinal round. Today's Warsaken Blitz tournament over on BluMint. Many thanks again to BluMint for all they do with these tournaments. It's great fun. It's great content for live streaming. Whoa. Not meant to right click. Whoa. Tranquilo. Take a moment to chill out here for a second. Cards flying around. Okay. So I've rolled a 2. And unfortunately for me, nothing makes 3 of a kind. And there's nothing I can play. I could fill up that 4th spot in my war zone, but it's way too risky. I don't think that's the proper play. So I'm going to forego those 2 actions altogether and end the turn. It's a 6. So a roll of 6 for my opponent. 3 of a kind weather, extra turn. 5 actions still to go for this turn. 13 cards in my opponent's hand. We're in the semifinals of today's Warsaken Blitz tournament on BluMint. I'm taking on Tech, who has 2 of a kind morale with 4 actions to go for this turn. 2 of a kind intel. 2 of a kind force, extra turn. It's a 6, my goodness. Could be in serious trouble here. 3 of a kind intel. I'm guessing 1 each attacking my cards that are in the war zone. So an interesting split there. Or it's going after the building cards as opposed to that weather sitting there. 3 of a kind morale. I'm down to 4 morale, but if those morale, that's 3 sets of morale that have been played. If those had been force cards, I would have a compromised leader right now. But I don't. So again, there is that added level of difficulty if you use a morale deck in Blitz. 1. I could try and split up the Agent Zeras, but I don't think that would be a wise move. Play a freezing rainstorm with my lone action, and that will end my turn. And while I have 3 territories, the important part is that my morale's at 4. And so 3 of a kind morale would have me with a compromised leader. On the flip side, if it's 3 of a kind force, I would still have 1 morale since I've got a pair of territories that are -3. Get -3. And then, oh, come on. And the vast hinterland is only -1. If it gets taken out. So my opponent's got 4 wide, 2 deep in the war zone. My turn. 2. I think it's too risky to split up the Agent Zeras at this point. Igor. Freezing Rainstorm. 1 each. That ends my turn. So I only have 4 morale left. Taking on Tech here in the semifinals. Match number 1. In this round, it remains best of 3. It's a roll of 6. I'm gonna have a compromised leader right here. My opponent has 3 of a kind force. That's it. That's the match. Tech's gonna beat me. Go up 1-0. Tech leads 1-0. And so while we get things set up for the next connection, ... bring up the tournament tree and you can see the very latest right there. Natha CGA taking on Downtown Detail. That's the other semifinal here. I trail 1-0. It's best of 3, so I'd have to win 2 in a row against Tech to make it to the final. Otherwise, I'm out. All right, Tech nice enough to supply me with a code. Hold down the tournament tree, go ahead and type in the code. Whoa.
Warsaken.
Here we go. This is match number 2 of the semifinal round. Taking on Tech. I have to win this and 1 more to stay in the tournament, otherwise I'm out. Oh, you got 2 of a kind with the intel. 1 each standalone force. I'll use a mulligan. I should have kept what I had, right? Okay, second mulligan. My opponent gets an extra card that way, so I'm not thrilled about it, but that does give me 2 sets of 2, so at least there's that. So Tech beat me with a morale deck. Added challenge in a tournament, no less, but it worked. So Tech leads 1-0 here in this semifinal, and it's a roll of 6. If Tech wins this match, I'm out, and Tech will be on to the final. 3 of a kind weather, extra turn. So it's 2 of a kind intel and a weather card, extra turn. A roll of 1. So 1 action will be a second weather played, and that's the end of the turn for Tech. 2. I think even this early in a match, splitting up a already good to go 3 of a kind is an unnecessary risk. I'll instead go with a pair of Terrifying Storms, weather cards. That's it for the turn. So this is one of the 2 semifinals for today's Warsaken Blitz Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament on BluMint. My opponent's got 2 sets of 2 of the intel and then 2 of a kind weather. My turn. 3. Well, the Black Blade can wait because I've got intel. When your opponent's got 3 wide, 2 deep, you can cause a lot of damage with an intel trio. Stolen blueprints in green. Let's bounce.
Select target. Select target. Select target.
So the sampler pack. That's it for my turn. I'm a big fan of the dispatch agent, that red light coming down. Somebody running very quickly, looking behind them. Hoping there's not like a pole they're not going to see. Run smack dab into. No time to worry about such things in that shot. Reactions to go here for my opponent. For a pullback, it's 2 of a kind. With the intel, 1 action to go for the turn. And you can tell it's an intel, the insignia. That tells you the category. It's very helpful. 4. Alright, I can go 3 of a kind with a terrifying storm. That will give me an extra turn. Reactions to go for this turn. Now I can play the Black Glade.
Select target.
3 of a kind force lets you take out an opponent's territory. Extra turn. 5. Alright, well I can go 3 of a kind with Resin Avid, Air Defense. Another trio of force cards here.
Select target.
So my opponent's going to be down to 2 territories. Two actions to go for the turn. I'll play a pair of B6 Rabid Beasts. And that was my turn. So this is match number 2, semi-final round of today's Warsaken Blitz tournament. Being held by BluMint. It's a roll of 2 for my opponent. 2 of a kind building cards. My turn. Going back perhaps for those cards I sent there just a little bit earlier. By way of the intel attack. So I have 3 spots open in my war zone. And 3 actions to go for my turn. Play a pair of freezing rainstorms. 1 action to go for the turn. I'll play Kensho, the Prime Regent. So roll a 4 for my opponent. Three of a kind weather. Extra turn. 1 action still to go for this turn. I'm down 1-0 here in this semi-final best of 3. All right. That extra turn, roll a 4. So a pullback of that intel card. 3 actions to go for the turn. 2 of a kind, make that 3 of a kind weather. Another extra turn. Roll of 2. Three of a kind weather. Another extra turn. 3. So 3 actions to go here for tech. There's 2 of a kind intel. 1 action to go for the turn that will be unused. My turn. 3. I can play 3 of a kind building cards. There's intel, there's force, there's weather. Going back for the weather. But that's it for my turn. So Tech leads 1-0 here in the semifinal round. It's best 2 out of 3, so if I don't win this match, I'm out of the tournament. Roll 4. I still have all 4 of my territories. My opponent Tech down to 2 territories remaining. Tech used a morale deck to beat me in our first matchup here in this semifinal round. My turn. 4. Well, okay, this will give me the extra turn with the Terrifying Storm. We'll get to that in a moment. 1 action to go still for this turn. Play the Kensho Prime Regent. Extra turn. 5. Let's think about this for a second. Play the weathers first. When in doubt, play the weathers first. Usually it's your best approach. I'll get the extra turn in a moment. 2 actions to go for this turn. Play 2 of the assassination attempts. Extra turn. 3. Okay. Play that Intel Trio, the assassination attempt. Let's bounce 3.
Select target.
Pick your poison with this, right? Building card for sure.
Select target.
And your choice of different offerings for the Intel side.
Select target.
So we'll leave that to blueprints. Can't pick them all. 2 actions to go for this turn. Freezing Rainstorm. That extra turn. 1 action to go for this turn. Question is, play an EMP discharge. Extra turn. 3. Okay. Well, I didn't get what I wanted as far as trying to get a 3-of-a-kind WMD, but I'll still be able to have my opponent with a compromised leader. Kensho.
Select target.
2 actions to go for my turn.
Select target. Leader compromised.
So my opponent is a compromised leader. I will play a Max Harper. That was my turn. It's a 4. So 4 actions here for my opponent, Tech. A pullback, 3 actions to go still for the turn. Three-of-a-kind Intel. Wasn't that interesting? 5. If I'd held on to that Max Harper, I would have been okay, but it's not what I did. Two actions to go for this turn. Let's try it again with Max Harper. That's it. My opponent's turn. My opponent's got a compromised leader, but things can change in a hurry in Warsaken Blitz. It's a 2. That's it for my opponent's turn, so I'm going to win this match right here. Even if I roll a 1, it's a 6. Got the 2 Max Harper dealers out there. I'll play the third. And we'll be tied up at 1.
Select target.
Alright, so I got the win to tie us up at 1 here in the semifinals of this Warsaken Blitz tournament being hosted by BluMint. There you see how we reached this point here in the semifinal round. It's 2 out of 3 on the other side as well. Renatha against Downtown. Tied at 1 here against Tech. So we'll go to a third and deciding match here in the semifinal round. Me playing as NashvilleLou, taking on Tech. This is NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. As we pass 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we prepare to begin the start of the third and deciding match of the semifinal round. Get it typed in.
Warsaken.
Here we go. Match 3 of 3 between myself and Tech. The winner goes to the final. 2 sets of 2, I'm keeping it. That's a pretty good draw right there. And so it's a random decision by the computer on who gets to go first. My opponent gets to go first. So roll a 4 for Tech. Remember, in Warsaken Blitz, you start with 1 leader card, 4 territory cards, and then your deck of 60, which in this game is called an arsenal. 2 sets of 2 for my opponent. 2 intel cards, 2 force cards. My turn. 1. Well, we'll send in Upton with the flamethrower. But that's it for my turn. So this is the best of 3 semifinal round matchup. Tech won match number 1. I won match number 2, so it's going to come down to this. Warsaken Intel milling my arsenal, sending 6 cards from my deck to my discard pile. Five. Well, this worked out quite well. Warsaken WMD is going to take out 2 of my opponent's territories.
Select target.
2 actions to go for the turn. I'll play that second specialist Upton Kobani. 3 spots in my war zone open. 1 action to go for the turn. But I don't have anything else that makes even 2 of a kind. So I'm going to forego that last action in my turn. So my opponent, Tech, has a standalone force and then a 2 of a kind force. And the war zone opposite me is a roll of 6. That's 3 of a kind weather. That means an extra turn for Tech. Still 3 actions to go for this turn. 3 of a kind force. I'll take out one of my territories. I'll be down to 3. Extra turn, a roll of 1. So 1 action here. It's an intel card. That ends the turn for Tech. My turn. 1. Okay, well, I'll play a standalone Blinding Sandstorm. If I can click correctly. I'll play the other one. It doesn't really matter. End turn. Roll of 2. So 3 of a kind intel. Cleared out my war zone there. And that's it for the turn. My turn. 3. Play a pair of cloud cover cards. Those are weather cards. 1 action to go for the turn. Go ahead and play a Blinding Sandstorm, and that won my turn. See what I already have in there. I know I've got a Blinding Sandstorm in there, but... Roll a 6 for my opponent. This is match 3 of 3 here in the semifinal round. 3 of a kind intel. This time, intel cards used against my arsenal, milling 6 cards over to my discard pile. 3 actions to go for the turn. 2 of a kind force, so 2 sets of 2 with a force. Make that 3 sets of 2 to end the turn. My turn. 4. Okay, well, I'll play the second Blinding Sandstorm. Put 2 spots open in my war zone, 3 actions to go. For the turn, I'll play the XTT. Actually, I should play them both. Misclicked. I'm going to forego that last action. Keep that 4th spot in my war zone open. And that won my turn. So roll a 5. Three of a kind force will both have 2 territories remaining. Four actions to go for the turn for Tech. Here in this winner-take-all Game 3. One of us will be heading to the finals after this match. The other is out. 3 of a kind with the building cards. Oh. One action to go for the turn. Trying to load up on force. My turn. 2. Wow. Nothing to make 3 of a kind, so I'm going to end the turn. Here in the semi-final round against Tech, and it's a roll of 3. The winner of this matchup gets the winner between Natha and Downtown on the other side of the semifinals. Other side of the bracket. 3 of a kind force. I'm down to 1 territory. 1 action to go for the turn. It's a weather card. That ends the turn for Tech. It's my turn. 6. Okay. First, play the weather. Extra turn. 5 actions to go for this turn. Subversion tactic. Intel. Let's bounce.
Select target. Select target. Select target.
2 actions to go for the turn. XTT. It's force.
Select target.
So takes me down to 1 territory. Just like me. Each of us with 1 territory remaining, 1 action to go for this turn with another turn on deck. We'll play a violent tornado. Extra turn. 4. All right, well, I can go 3 of a kind with the weather. The cloud cover buys me time with an extra turn. Three actions still to go for this turn. So I'll play a second violent tornado. 3 spots in my war zone are open with 2 actions to go for the turn. Play a pair of Agent Ricos. Extra turn. 2. Lucky me. 2 violent tornadoes, I catch a third. Extra turn. I have 12 cards in my arsenal. That's another thing. If your arsenal hits 0, at that point you get a compromised leader, but I only have 1 territory left, so I'm willing to take that risk. 1 action to go for the turn. Throw an A9 hammerhead. Extra turn. 2. Oh, I can play the second hammerhead. 2 spots are open in my war zone. 1 action to go for the turn. Play a 00 Black Blade, and that will end my turn. Match 3-3 here against Tech. We each have 1 territory left. The winner of this match goes to the final. It's a roll of 3. Building cards. Actually went back for some weather. Trying to line up some additional spins. 4. Okay. Play the third Agent Rico.
Select target.
So my opponent will have a compromised leader. 3 actions to go for the turn.
Compromised.
This is somewhat inefficient, but I'm making the best of the situation here, trying to clear out my opponent's war zone. Because there's no guarantee I'm going to get another roll here. If my opponent gets 2 sets of 3 put together with force, that's it, so. I mean, I could force my opponent to discard 3, but that would be... I don't think that's the best play.
Select target.
So I'll bounce 2.
Select target.
That's it for my turn. I have 1 territory remaining. Only 6 cards in my arsenal, so... If we're a 3 of a kind intel, it could take me down to 0 on my arsenal. It's a roll of 4. At that point, I'd have a compromised leader. You saw it in the first match, for those that were here a little earlier, when Tech beat me in round 1 by way of a morale deck. 2 of a kind weather, 3 of a kind weather, extra turn. 1 action still to go for this turn. It's a force, extra turn, it's a roll of 5. My opponent put together 2 sets of 3 force. That will be it. That's 3 of a kind force. I'll have a compromised leader.
Compromised.
3 actions to go. 1 and 2, 3. That's it. Tech's gonna win. All right, congratulations to Tech, victorious. So a tight battle that went down to the end, but ultimately Tech gets the win, so I'm out of the tournament. So I'll bring up the tournament tree. So it'll be Tech against Downtown in the final. Let me jump in here. Let's see. Good game. Tech wins 2-1. Close battle. Fun game. Good luck in the final. All right, so while it is disappointing to lose, Tech's a good player. And if I can't be in there, Tech is certainly representing the game well in the finals, so. We've had a lot of 2-1 games in this session from what Astral's saying here in chat. So this, in just a moment here, will bring my broadcast of the tournament to an end. So I'm out in the semifinal round here in this Forgotten Warriors 2 tournament. So again, many thanks to Warsaken and Supra Oracles for sponsoring today's event, and many thanks to BluMint for hosting it. Yeah, a good game. Good luck in the finals. I never know if I should put final or finals with an S. Anyway, same difference. You get the idea. So, all right, so it'll be Tech against Downtown. You see it there. It's already lined up for the final. And so that's where the coverage of the tournament for me comes to a conclusion, as I'm out losing 2-1 in a best-of-3 semifinal round against Tech. It'll be Tech against Downtown in the final. All right, Soul the Cat is live. I'm going to say goodbye to the SIG out so I can piece this together later for YouTube with the matches that I was not able to stream earlier but did record. So I've got those saved for posterity or for first run viewing later for anyone that might be interested. So I'm going to do the SIG out, say goodbye, and then we'll do a stream over, or do a raid over to Soul the Cat. So that's going to do it for this broadcast of NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Thanks for watching. See you next time.